Okay, for this assignment, we're going to try and run Cube Voyager. I haven't really practiced it all that much yet, a little bit, so hopefully I won't be too inefficient. Okay, you need to go into this directory called Cache Model. You go in there, and then there's all the input directories and all this. Then there's this catalog file. You need to open that to run it. Probably it doesn't detect Cube automatically, so we'll go here through Cube and try and open it that way. No, I don't want to open that. Alright, File, Open, Recent. Alright, so we've got the cache model open here on the side, and we don't need this welcome window anymore, so you can close that. Right, so what we've got here, this is the application window, and if you double click on this thing right here, it'll open up the model. It says that it's been moved, so you just say yes, okay, okay. That's for tokens that the model uses that it didn't detect easily, but we're there now. Okay, so what you need to do now, this is the model, and this is all of the different steps that there are in the model. And the first thing we're going to do is check the network. It's part of input processing. So go here to input processing, go here to network processing. Then in network processing, we're going to go to the network processor itself. And here is where the master network is located. So if you click on this thing, it highlights the name. We're going to double click that, open it up, and the network pops up. I don't know what's wrong with the network right now, but it always shows up a little teeny thing in the corner. So this is the network, and this is Logan. I don't have a good background to be able to show it in context with where it is in the mountains, but this is it anyway. So now, what do? Go to alright, so up here are these options for posting links and nodes and other kinds of things under this home ribbon. If you click on the little pull down arrow for color, this gives you different things that you can look at. Right now we're viewing the number of lanes in 2010. I'm going to switch to the number of lanes at EOP3. That means end of phase 3. It's the code for 2040. Alright, so this is what 2040 in Logan looks like. This is the main highway coming in from Salt Lake. It goes through their old historic Main Street and then opens back up again, where the right-of-way is a little wider and they're able to make 3 lanes. But one of the fundamental problems is that you got a 3-lane highway and a 2-lane highway each direction. So 5 lanes northbound coming into this spot that is just 2 lanes northbound. So that's a pretty significant problem. Now they do have additional streets here, so traffic can disperse somewhat, but most of it wants to stay on Main Street. That's kind of the issue that they hired our firms to study with a one-way couplet option. So let's see. Alright, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, let's see if we can do anything. So if you click on this little arrow right here, then you can click on a link and open it up and look at this link window here. Here's a bunch of lane fields. So LN is a lane field. This is how many lanes there are in each scenario. So 2010, the traffic improvement program is 2016. Then end of phase, this is 2020, 2030, 2040. And then these are the couplet concepts we came up with and a few other things like that. Then these are functional types. So 2 means a principal arterial. I click on this road, it's a 3, that means a minor arterial. I click on this road, it's a 4, that means it's a collector. I click on this link here, the little yellow one, it goes to 1, that means a centroid connector. It's a simulation for a local street that we don't actually put into the models. And that's kind of it. Also, here's these C fields, that means a count. So that's a U dot count on that highway. So it means in 2011 there were 36,000 cars per day that drove over this spot. And that's both directions. So that's one of the things we'll help use to validate the model and make sure that when we run 2010 that we're also getting something like in the 30,000 ranges here on this link. So alright, so here's some other things to look at. We can go to this other lane option here. Oh, that one's not even there. So I said yes, and I'm going to open it up now by clicking on the button, and it says lane C U dot is not in the file, so I'm going to change it. Whoops. And you have to change it by right clicking, and then there's all these lane fields. So I think I want to show you lane couplet E. Let's look at E. That's a pretty good one. And whoops, got to choose it again. E. And now what you do is you double click it, then use Control C to put it on memory, then double click and Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, and then put it up here in the title too. And there you go. So you hit close like that, and now we can see better what this lane or what this scenario shows. It's got these. Oh, and do this too. There's a draw offset. So if you put that to 2, it moves the 2 halves of the road apart, so you can see a little more clearly what's going on. Now, on a lot of these roads, there's now 2 roads visible that are the same color, but in this case you see like a dark purple on the right side and a dotted line on the left side. That means it's a one-way road. So if I click on this and I go up here to this to look at, if I go here to look at this, what did I select? I selected couplet E. Couplet E. So it's displaying in purple 4 on the side of the road that I clicked on, which is the right. And then if I over here, this is 0, means there's no lanes there. So that's representative of a scenario where you have 4 northbound lanes and 0 southbound lanes on that road. So okay, so now what do we want to do? I think I'll push pause while I think. Okay, I think I won't know what to do next. So that's a little bit about the network. Now I'm going to go back to here. Well, actually, I'm going to go over here to the scenario, show you the scenarios. So if you click on this RTP runs, this has different scenarios that have been set up and are ready to run, or might be ready to run. Base 2010, and then we have these couplet scenarios that were set up. So what you want to do is click on this 2010. When you do that, all of the files on the right side change automatically as per the 2010 scenario, and so we're going to double click this. Okay, if you double click that, it brings up this window that shows the parameters that define the 2010 scenario. So just looking at this, I'll tell you what's important on this page. There's nothing important on this page. Go to the next. Okay, so this one is the demographic year, so we're using 2010 population for this scenario. This is the file where the 2010 population definition is located. This is the same files that you worked with last week. And this is all, let's see, the network year. This is the master network that we're using. This is the name of the output network that we want. You can change this if you want to, but it's already a good name. Park and ride field location, we don't need to do anything about that. Lane 10, that's the lane field that we want to use. Turn 10, that's for whether or not there are turning lanes on the highway. Just leave it like that. Functional type 2010, we want to use that, and then these are speed and capacity factors. So that's pretty much that, and that's done. Now all you do is push run and hope that it works. And if it, I'm setting it up so it should work for you. Just going to give you this same model set, and it looks like it's running pretty well now. It's done owner auto, it did trip generation really fast. It's on distribution right now, and it'll move on to mode choice shortly. That's one thing that's really nice about this model, is the whole thing runs in about 10 minutes. Some of the larger MPOs, the Wasatch Front MPO takes 5 hours to run, and then there are other MPOs in the country that take like 3 days to run sometimes, and it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so that's running now, so we're going to go ahead and minimize this just so we can get back to here. That's the Voyager part. So the Voyager is the engine that runs it. We're going to hit close on this because we've already launched it, and now we're back into Cube Base, they call this. This is the graphical user interface. So I am running the 2010 scenario, and I think we already displayed the lanes for that. So what do I want to do? Okay, this is what we're going to do next. So I want to show you how to compare networks or scenarios within Cube. So go here to the little pull down color window and go to this number 11, end of phase 3 minus 2008 it says. So it displays this. What is that? Let's find out. Click on that. And it says lane 08, but it actually is lane 010, or lane 10. So this means 2040 minus 2010. So if the number of lanes on a link is minus this is greater than 0, then we make it green. Otherwise, make it red. And green usually means good, red usually means bad. And bad in the sense that it's not very likely that lanes ever go down in size. So that's why I flag it red, is it's meant to red flag, oh, if the lanes went down, that's unusual. It's not necessarily wrong, but it's unusual and I want to see it. So if we close, then this shows what is in the regional transportation plan for Cache County, which roads are going to be made larger in the future than they are right now. Either made larger or built. Maybe they don't even exist yet. So that's that. Notice that there's a lot of little weird roads like this one and this diagonal one. Those aren't real roads, those are couplet, or they're not couplet, they're centroid connectors. So let's go here and turn those off. So the way you do that is you hit append, it puts something on there like that, and we're going to say if there's a number of ways you can do it. Lane 10 equals 7, because centroid connectors usually have 7 lanes is the way we define that. Then just make that 0, hit close, and oh, it turned off the centroid connectors, but it didn't turn off some of the centroid connectors. So we're going to do yet another one. Append, and we're going to say if maybe we'll do the same thing for 2030, but I'm going to do end of phase 3 equals 1 because that's the functional type for centroids, and I'm going to turn that off too. Okay, so that turned off a lot of them. So I could have done either lane or functional type to turn that off. I just did both so you could see both. And this then is their plan apparently. Now one thing that's important to do is to go, if you're working this job, is you check the plan and then you check the model to make sure that they are the same, because if there's errors in it, then you want to know that. Okay, so here's a spot where this looks like probably an error, because so I'll just click on it and see if it is an error. So what this says is this street exists in 2010, but then it goes away in all other years. So that is surely an error because streets don't ever go away, and it's something that we just discovered about this model. I'll bet that the MPO has no idea that that their model has that error in it. This one's the same thing. It's the road that is there in 2010 and then goes away. So I don't know that I care to fix it, but well, why don't we fix it? If it's there, it's there, and so we can fix it. So what you do is you click in there and then you hit one arrow down, and let's just put it in every scenario. So you just do like that, and then you go again on that side. Looks like I missed one, and the one right there again, and that's that. Okay, so now I fixed that. Another option that you can do, sometimes it can be dangerous, but we'll do it anyway just so you see it, is I can click on that one and delete it. Then I click on this other one, I hit Control C, then Control V, and it puts me into add link mode, and I'm gonna go like that and add the link back in. So now these two links are exactly identical with the exception of distance, which is automatically computed, and that's that. Okay, I want to take you back now and let's do another comparison. Go here to this number 12, hit color, and we want to just change how this one is. So we're going to look at, we want to see what's different about the couplet scenario then. So let's choose couplet D. You right click and find lane couplet D minus, then you right click again, lane end of phase 3. Okay, now I'm going to highlight the whole thing, Control C, highlight this whole thing, Control V, and greater than 0, less than 0. That's good, and close. Okay, so very strange. So let's zoom in. Why is everything alternating green, red, green, red, green, red? It could be that we'll discover that when we do offset. So let's set the offset to 3 just because, and aha, okay, so there's the reason. So when I click on, when I did that, I can see how I set this up, and I click on that link there, and it was 2 lanes each direction in the end of phase 3, but in my couplet D it's 4 in one and 0 in the other. So it got bigger on one side of the road and smaller on the other side of the road, so that's why it did that. So we'll zoom out and you can see kind of what's happened all the way up in this scenario. And all these little links, they're centroid connectors that I put in there when I set up this scenario, because this road here doesn't exist yet, but I built it as part of the couplet scenario. I built it way far north, and said, well, if the street's going to exist, then zones will be able to get onto it. So I connected zone centroids to that spot, and I also connected real roads and said, well, this road needs to go from here to here at least to get to that one, or be bigger between those two spots. Maybe that's what that is. Okay, that's all for this video. This one's 20 minutes now. Well, I can't believe that much time goes by, but go to number 2 now, and we'll just continue from there.